Hello, this is Lisa Wines, and this is e-commerce for tourism. Today I'm going to talk to you about Twittering for tourism. In part one, we'll cover Twitter definitions and history. So let's get started. So Twitter defined. Twitter is a messaging platform. It's also referred to as microblogging. And messages that you write in that little space there underneath what's happening have to be in 140 characters or less. Messages are sent or received via the web or SMS messages or third-party applications like Twirl or Seismic. You choose whose tweets to follow, and others choose to follow your tweets. New tweets are listed in your feed so you can see what the people you know and who you follow are doing. And your tweets or updates are displayed in your followers' feeds. So here's a picture underneath home. You'll see 8 new tweets, and then underneath that, those are tweets from people that are following me and that I'm following. Now, the history of Twitter started when they had a day-long brainstorming session with board members of the podcasting company Odeo. And at that meeting, Jack Dorsey introduced the idea of an individual using an SMS service to communicate with a small group, a concept partly inspired by the SMS group messaging service TXT Mob. And the working name of that idea that Jack Dorsey came up with was status, like you're updating your status. The image over there to the left is Jack Dorsey's original sketch that he wrote down for the idea of status. And when I talked to you earlier about mind mapping and using the ability to draw out your ideas in order to create new things, this is used by many major companies and very successful companies and applications. So if you go to that little link at the bottom of this slide, deeplinking.net/paper-web, you can see other famous companies and how they started out with one little drawing. So there's Jack Dorsey pictured at the left, and this is a quote from him when he was talking about why they created this and how they thought about it when they first created Twitter. We wanted to capture the physical sensation that you're buzzing your friend's pocket. So we did a bunch of name storming, and we came up with the word Twitch because the phone kind of vibrates when it moves. But Twitch is not a good product name because it doesn't bring up the right imagery. So we looked in the dictionary for words around it, and we came across the word Twitter, and it was just perfect. The definition was a short burst of inconsequential information and chirps from birds, and that's exactly what the product was. So in March 2006, and this wasn't that long ago if you think about it, Dorsey published his first Twitter message at 12:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over there in California, just setting up my Twitter. The first Twitter prototype was used only by Odeo employees. Later in 2006, the public version was launched, and BizStone, Evan Williams, and Jack Dorsey, and other members of Odeo formed another corporation called Obvious Corporation and bought Odeo and Twitter.com. And then in April of 2007, Twitter spun off into its own separate company. Now, in 2007, Twitter was introduced for the first time at South by Southwest, which is a festival that takes place in Texas. And it's the first week of it, I think, is all technology and internet people. And the second week is music. And all the internet people stay for the music festival because it's huge. Any musician or band that wants to be seen by major producers or record companies, that's where they go and showcase in all the bars and restaurants all through, I think it's Austin. So it's an amazing festival that everybody loves to go to. At that time, Twitter was introduced, and they went from 20,000 to 60,000 tweets in one day. Newsweek's Stephen Levy said that hundreds of conference goers kept tabs on each other or kept track of each other via their constant twittering. And soon everybody was buzzing and posting about this new thing that was sort of instant messaging and sort of blogging and maybe even a bit of sending a stream of telegrams. So the reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Laughing Squid blogger Scott Beale said Twitter absolutely ruled South by Southwest, and Dana Boyd said Twitter owned the festival. So California. Anyway, Twitter, the staff accepted their prize. They got a great prize for the festival's Web Award with the remark, "We'd like to thank you in 140 characters or less." And we just did. So, Twitter today, what's happening with it? Well, Twitter is one of the 50 most popular websites worldwide, according to Lex's web traffic analysis. And although the company doesn't release the number of active accounts, a February 2009 Compete.com blog entry ranked Twitter as the third most used social network based on their count of 6 million unique monthly visitors and 55 million monthly visits. In March 2009, Nielsen.com ranked Twitter as the fastest growing site in the member communities category for February of 2009. Twitter had a monthly growth of 1,382%, 1,382%, okay? And Zimbio had 240% growth. Facebook only had an increase of 228%. However, only 40% of Twitter's users are retained.